first to admit it. Let you know if she's good and if she dig it, cause she's Rick the critic, Rick the critic, Rick the critic, Rick the critic. She the first to admit it if she can't dig it, cause she's Rick the critic, 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 Rick the critic.
Hi, I'm Rick the Critic. I am so glad you're here. Now listen, if you caught the last show, we're doing Dr. Rick's TV show, and today we're going to do Rick the Critic Talks to Dr. Rick. This is going to be so exciting. It's like me and me talking together. Listen, get your stuff, whatever you got to get, and just stop and listen to what we're talking about. Today, we're going to have a great show. I'm going to be Rick the Critic today and not Dr. Rick, okay? So don't get it confused because it's still me. Now, first thing I want to talk about, and I'm just so in awe about this, Jesse Jackson and his wife going to jail. Crazy. Is that not crazy? Okay, I got a couple of things. I had one friend, we had this debate about this, and the first thing she says is, oh, I think they've targeted Jesse Jackson, and I think Jesse Jackson Jr., Jesse Jackson Jr. They targeted him and this and that, and I think that they said, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm thinking to myself, wait, is this the same Jesse Jackson Jr. that not too long ago was trying to sell a seed, or he was caught in cahoots with the other senator guy there, and he went to jail? And so I'm thinking if he went to jail, and this is Chicago now, so, you know, Chicago is I think, and this is just me talking, Rick the Critic, Chicago is more like I think of the mafia. I always think of Al Capone and all of those, you know, all of those gangster type movies when I think about Chicago. I always think about organized crime. That's what I think about when I think about Chicago. And now I'm thinking, when I think of politicians and corruption and all that in Chicago, it just kind of all seems right to me. And I know that's not a nice thing to say, but you know, I do. I mean, Oprah comes from Chicago. She doesn't seem to be corrupted. Probably a lot of other nice people come out of Chicago. But when I think of Chicago, I always think of corruption. But now, back to Jesse Jackson. Okay, now, Jesse Jackson is going to, now I'm not real clear on this. If he's got 3 years, I think he's going to go and spend 3 years in prison while his wife spends the 3 years at home, and then when he comes out, then she goes away for a year. Hello? Where, not to mention, I also was informed that because they're both attorneys, so when they were about to leave, when you know they knew they were going to get some time, they also picked out what prison they wanted to go to. What's wrong with this picture? Because I'm confused. Where in America? And think about this. Now, I commit a crime, my husband commits a crime, and my husband can go and do the time and then come back, and then I go and do the time where our children won't be alone? I'm confused. In this country, you do wrong, you go to jail, whether it's you and, think about this. You and I commit a crime, we both going to jail, okay? They don't care about the kids can go into foster home care, or the kids could be with your parents or your whatever, but we both going to jail. We commit a crime. That's like Bonnie and Clyde committing a crime, and they say, Bonnie, you go first, and then Clyde can stay here, and when Clyde comes out, when you come out, then Clyde goes in. What is wrong with this picture? I don't understand. So we need to be white-collar criminals? I mean, blue-collar criminals are not, they have no significance, or they have no, there's no justice when you're a white-collar as opposed to blue-collar? I mean, give me a break. And I'm not, let me tell you something. As an attorney, him being an attorney and his wife, that is real clear to me that they knew what they were doing before they did. There's no ignorance of the law here. They knew what they were doing. They committed the crimes, and now they get to go to Camp Fun, and they get to stay home with their children while they take turns going back and forth to jail. I've never heard such. Now, maybe I have never heard it because when I'm thinking about African Americans going to jail, they just go to jail. So maybe, just maybe, this is a situation where it's always been like this in other cultures and it just never was like this in our culture, and now we get a turn to do this. I don't get it. I don't understand. I know if we commit a crime, we are going to jail. I have never heard the likes of this. So I'm in awe about when they're going, where they're going to, and how the situation is set up. And wait a minute, let's not forget that when he comes out of jail, he can actually, now he probably can't teach, he probably cannot practice law anymore, he or his wife. I mean, I don't see that happening, but let me tell you what can definitely happen. He definitely can go back into politics. He definitely can go back and he can do a consulting. I mean, they could actually do a consulting firm. What is this? And they'll probably go on to write a book, and they'll probably go 3 years in Camp Fun. 1 year for her, 3 years for him. That is so interesting. So once again, one thing that I do hear here is that they had great representation. So when people are going to jail for crimes that they haven't committed or crimes that they are accused of committing with very, very sketchy evidence, the key word here is proper representation. Good, great representation. That's what you need for your get out of jail card, or that's what you need for a reduced sentence, or that's what you need to be able to pick the place that you want to go to, where you want to spend your time at. This is the thing, you know what I'm saying? Good representation. That's all you got to have is good representation. So my advice to you, viewers, would be to get if you don't have a law degree, you might want to, when you get into trouble, definitely X the public defenders and go straight to the school of law, ask the professor who's the best person in their class that is practicing law, and get a good law student, somebody that's young, somebody who's hungry, somebody that's energetic and really, really, really loves the law and wants to really, really, really win the case. Because if you deal with regular attorneys that have been there for a long time, and I'm not saying anything, I just had an encounter with an attorney that was unbelievable. This guy was unbelievable. This guy had a shirt on that he looked like he slept in, and he had all these these ketchup stains on his clothes, and he was sitting there representing a lady of someone that I knew, and I kept looking at my friend, and I kept thinking, do you really want to deal with this guy? Because he looks really shaky. He looks shady to me. And she was like, oh no, and I'm thinking, this guy doesn't even have an appearance of an Esquire, not even the appearance. Okay, but that's just me talking. But the bottom line is that in this country, this is the only country in the world where you can get off killing somebody because you ate a Twinkie. You can get off killing somebody if you throw them overboard. You can get off killing somebody if you're a movie star. This is incredible. This country is incredible, and I clearly understand why other countries look at us and just kind of shake their head. But as far as the Jacksons are concerned, my. All I can say is just shame on you and shame on the situation. Now, moving on past the Jacksons, the other thing that I want to talk about is the union, SEIU, that union, the union for caregivers, the union for in-home health care. These guys are probably, I've never encountered such a crappy union in my entire life. These guys give you a raise, then they take it back. They give you an increase in pay, then they take it back. Then they do, I mean, it's incredible. Listen, the healthcare situation right now, people want to stay in their homes. They want to be as comfortable as they can possibly be in their home. And so to out, not just to disregard the convalescents, but to live, for them to live a quality of life as long as they can in their home environment. So that's where the home care caregivers, that's where the home care and the caregivers, that's where they come in. So they come in to be able to feed them, to be able to bathe them, to be able to do some light chores and some light errands in there. And for that, they get paid a very minimum wage of $9 and some change or what have you. Okay, in this $9 to change, you know what I'm saying, what they tell you, this is the big, it's almost criminal. What they do is they send you out a timesheet and they tell you, listen, there's an assessment pay of $29. If you don't want to become union, if you want to become union, it's $30.66. So in your mind, you're thinking, okay, I can be a union member for $1 or $2 more, so why not become a union member? Then after you become a union member, then this is the kicker. They tell you you have to pay the $29 because whatever they fight for the union members, it also works for you. I'm confused. If I don't want to be a member, a union member, why do I have to pay $30.66 to become a union member? And even if I don't, I still have to pay an assessment pay of $29 because whatever you fight for, I get that too? I don't get it. So maybe I'm confused, but you can write me and talk to me about it because I'm confused. Then the other part of it is then you can become a COPE member. A COPE member means that you pay an extra $5 a month, and what the union does is they decide together with you, if you want to come to the meetings or have you, about who they're going to put into office. This is a political ploy. This is money that goes into a big pot to support politicians. Okay, the last I heard, they were supporting a politician, and he was supposed to be for us. Every time, and as long as we've been putting this money into this pot for politicians, we never get anybody that works for us. Never. We get a pay, it's taken away. We've not got a pay raise. We got a pay raise for 30 days, and that was it. And I know this because I am a caregiver for a family member. I know this. It's incredible. I mean, no one can take care of your family better than you. So if you've got to do you got to come in. You cannot just trust anybody because they're a caregiver to be with your parent or your child or your spouse if you cannot be there all the time and you have to have someone come in. Yes, but you do have to oversee that. But let me tell you this, because I'm telling you, it's crazy, crazy, crazy. I have never seen a union like this in my entire life, and I think it should be addressed. I think that everybody should go down there that's a union member with some sticks in their hand and just start bopping those, bopping them in their head. It's always something with these guys, and they want you to tie yourself to a tree and rally with them and go to Washington and go here and go there, and we never get the politicians that we put into office. What is wrong with that picture? I'm on a roll today about the politician things. Okay, that's another issue that I want you to chew on because that's incredible. Listen, we're going to go to a station break and get your stuff, get your water, get all the stuff that you need, and come on back and we'll talk later.
The critic when she come into your place, so you best not forget it. She gon' tell you how it is, cause she's